knew that just as well as he did. And now my weakness has been spotted, cruelly exploited. Pregnant with my child, our child, I couldn't keep my promise to Sophia. I couldn't save her, couldn't stop it. Not this time. Deep, twisted pain enters my heart. I've let her down, broken my promise. My teeth wedge together and another level of pain fills me, an emotional pain. It's a soul-deep agony that tears me up inside the longer I think about the what-ifs. What if she's been touched by that fucker? Raped? Hurt? And our baby? Was it still alive? Her nightmares had finally stopped. When she slept soundly next to me, I didn't have to worry about tearing her away from the memories. All I needed to focus on was the warmth of her body and how well her newly found curves fit next to mine. Sure, I could still see the pain in those beautiful green eyes, but it wasn't the same kind of pain I found her in. It was a lingering pain, one that would take years to heal. It was something I was all too familiar with. Sophia so desperately thought she was tainted, like a crushed, damaged human being, incapable of being whole again, but that's where she was wrong. Sophia is the definition of purity and innocence, caught up in a world of violence. She was my white rose, pure at heart and vibrant in her depths. I broke the only promise that mattered. I swore no one would ever hurt her again, and I fucking failed. Sophia would never trust me again. And why the fuck should she? Grief wraps cold and savage around my chest. For the first time in a long time, I feel something besides anger. Fear. I've never feared much, but now that I have someone in my life that means more to me than myself, someone that I want to protect, fear is the only thing my body is running on right now. I close my eyes against a sudden, harsh wave of pain. My father's words come back to me, repeating over and over in my head like a mantra. Fight it. Fight the pain. Fight like your entire life depends on it, Diavolo. You won't survive this if you don't fight. A growl rumbles in my throat as I focus on my training. I rhythmically breathe through the pain and listen closely to what's happening around me. My heartbeat slows and the noises surrounding me intensify the harder I focus. There's the soft rustle of clothing beside me and pained grunts which can only come from one person. Garrett. Ignoring the perspiration lingering on my forehead, I summon all my strength and flex my muscles, checking to see how tight the binds are that have me strapped to the chair. I barely flinch against the coarse rope that cuts into my skin, stinging as it tears through the top layer of flesh. There's no give within the restraints. I'll need to find another way out of the chair. I must hand it to Finley. The motherfucker chose metal chairs instead of wood. He's thought this through thoroughly, premeditated everything. I already had my suspicions about him before, but they were confirmed on our last assignment. Nothing went as planned, and it all seemed to lead to Finley. When he disappeared during orders without a word to any of the other guys, I couldn't ignore the ball of dread tightening in my stomach. Something was wrong. I felt it. I called off the assignment despite our handler's orders, and we took the jet back to Crest Fall. Only when we made it back, it was already too late. The structure of the building was on fire. Thick, gray plumes of billowing smoke hung heavy in the air. Bodies of the men guarding the perimeter littered the ground surrounding the building. I instructed half of the guys to check for survivors on the first floor, and the other half were to search for Mira and Sophia. The second we entered the building, all hell broke loose. Automatics fired off in quick succession, intermingling with horrific screams and the sound of a raging fire. I flew through the building, Garrett following close behind in search of Sophia, and when I did find her, my heart reacted strangely. The organ stopped beating in my chest and ice flooded my veins as I watched Finley hold a gun to her skull. We were at a loss, completely outnumbered by Finley's strategic planning. I've never felt so hopeless. My grip on control was slipping with each second that ticked by. After Finley dropped the butt of his gun down on Sophia, he threw her limp body over his shoulder and strode away. His men were